Hello children, welcome to my lecture number 2 for reproductive health. So we already discussed about in my last lecture what is reproductive health and what issues it is concerned about. Now let me come to the topic. What is population control? Population control measures are the contraceptive or the contraception. Contraception means to avoid pregnancy. Now, how we can control pregnancy? Now, there are certain methods which we are going to discuss here. Now, first method is natural method. In the natural method, periodic abstinence from sex or say no to sex during the 10 to 17 days of menstrual cycle. During that period of time, coitus should be avoided. Otherwise, it will lead to the fertilization and the pregnancy. Now, second is the lactational amenorrhea. When we talk about lactational amenorrhea, we are talking about if the mother who have a born child, then if she is feeding it to 3 months, there will be no menstrual cycle and she will not conceive or she will not become pregnant till she is feeding the child till 3 months. Now next is your coitus interruptus. Now during the coitus, if a person ejaculate or put out the sperms out of the body of the female's body, then there will be no fertilization as such and control of pregnancy will be there. Now after this we are going to talk about the chemical method. The chemical method, children, is oral, means the pills which are taken in from by the mouth. Now it is involved. These oral pills are made up of hormones, progesterone, estrogen combination, which prevent the formation of the egg as well as implantation also and fertilization. It is Saheli. The pills have to be taken for about 28 days. They also prevent implantation. Malady, then there is I pill. It is known as emergency pill. 72-hour pill we call it, because the proper formation of the embryo takes place in 3 days. So if the pill is taken, it will make the uterus unsuitable and thus will prevent implantation. Then vaginal pills are also there which are taken nowadays. These pills are taken inside the body of the female through vagina and they control the pregnancy. Then comes your IUCD devices. What are IUCDs? Intrauterine contraceptive devices. Now these devices are put in the uterus, cervical part. Now they release, first is the copper T, which is made up of copper. It is a T-like shape which is put by specialist inside the body of the female through the vagina, and they release copper ions which reduces the sperm motility, that is the movement, and fertility or the fertilizing capacity of the sperms. Now second is your the Lippes loop, which is a non-medicated, means it will not produce any medication, but it is going to prevent the pregnancy. Now there are certain implants also which are put, we will later on discuss with that. Now there are hormonal releasing IUCDs, progesterone and LNG20. They make the uterus unsuitable for implantation. Now children, we have just now discussed about 3 methods. There are other methods also, and we are going to discuss them about here. And one of the most important and the most followed up method is the barrier method. When we talk about the barrier method, we are talking about the condoms. Now what is a barrier method? It does not allow the physical contact between male and female body. Prevent sperm to meet egg. does not allow fertilization in essence. So this is a very important method. It contains condom, the male condoms. They are a rubber-like structure. These structures are there on the penis, and they do not allow they keep the sperms inside it. Now second is going to be your female diaphragm. The female diaphragm are also like rubber-like structure. They are put in the vagina, and they also stop the contact. So these are the two important methods. The condom saves from pregnancy plus AIDS or other disorders. So this is a very important. It can save us from other disorders or STDs. So the doctors, they prefer this method. But when we want to keep some period between the gap between the babies, then IUCDs are also used. Now children, there is another method which is there, which is surgical. Now surgical method is of two types. One is vasectomy in males and tubectomy in female. Now here what happens is, we have seen that now what happens is, this is FP or fallopian tube. Now this fallopian tube is cut and then tied. Here fallopian tube is cut and tied. Prevent fertilization and so controls pregnancy. Now this is a permanent method. This is operational. Okay. So, and this is a permanent method. So not always advised. Vasectomy is in which you have seen the testes. Now, was this is cut and tied. So in vasectomy, the vas difference is cut and tied. So it stops sperm to come out. So the sperms will not come out. Then the fertilization will not take place. So in both the cases, you can see there is an operational things which are taken place where we cut the vas difference in vasectomy and then we tie it up, and in tubectomy we cut the fallopian tube and we tie it up. So these are permanent methods, and these methods are not always advised by the doctors. These are the ultimate methods of the control. So I will end my lecture here only, and thank you children. Meet you in my next lecture.